All right, so episode 2 with Amanda and Ryan. I messed up. The audio's we just didn't record audio. It was a new mixer. I could have pressed one more button and everything would have been solved. But yeah, the audio's it does not get saved at any point in the thing. But I thought it was a really good conversation, so I think it's worth keeping as an episode. Hopefully whoever's doing post-production, that is me. We're gonna have to clean it up as much as possible. So we're sorry for the audio troubles, and it'll be resolved in the next one. Enjoy the episode.
That's why I never take anything seriously now. Because it's just like, oh, they're not.
Okay, finally. We're starting at 3:50. Okay. Alright. Welcome to the Lot Podcast, episode 2. I'm gonna do a proper intro this time because I realized I didn't do it for the first two. Well, to be fair, I didn't actually know what the podcast was gonna be called and what episode we were on. So now I know. Episode 2 in the Lot Podcast. And I'm gonna introduce our guest, very special guest this time around. We have Madam Amanda Kuo, who has 200K followers on TikTok, 20K followers on Instagram. She a star, superstar in the making. 26? Okay, sorry, my bad. I don't even have 6K followers. Alright, and then we have superstar director and videographer and DP and DP. You can interpret that yourself.
Yeah, just lab soldier, you know how it is. Just here trying to bring the vibes. This is the second time we're telling you, right?
Yeah, because it was the pilot first, and then this episode.
I think it makes sense because for this time, you know, we'll talk about Amanda's upbringing here in lab. We basically
we raised her.
They're my parents.
Back when she was like
Daddy Henry and
they
don't say that. Don't say that. I want to hear those words come out of your mouth ever again.
Cut.
No, we're not.
Okay.
No cuts.
This is
raw.
And raw.
Okay.
We'll see like the true backstory of Amanda, and you know, maybe shed some light on
when she was a nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she was like 1K, and then after she started making like TikToks.
Hey guys, look at me. I'm selling presents. Buy my presents.
Alright, I mean, it's good to have Ryan on because I feel like you guys known each other since school and you were in the same program. So I thought it'd be
RT alumni.
You would have more insight than I would, I guess, in the beginning parts.
Yeah. I didn't even know Ryan that long before I joined lab, so.
Yeah, so I think we first met at on a practicum.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
It was DPing.
Yeah, but I wasn't like it was okay. I think it was like so for people who don't know, practicum is kind of like when you're 4th year in RTA, which is now called TMU. It's called it used to be called Ryerson, now it's called TMU. RTA is their radio television analog program. Did you even know that? What RTA standing for? That's crazy.
Analog? Like what?
Because back then, like before it was analog because it's mostly like
actual film,
but also like the sound. Everything was analog. Broadcasting was very like analog. So now I think it might be arts now because they're trying to be like, oh, we're not really like old fashioned like that. But anyways, so it used to be called RTA. Still is called RTA at TMU. And for your 4th year, practicum is kind of like your last assignment kind of thing where the major project. So that's where like everyone's like, yo, I'm gonna be Steven Spielberg. You know, I'm gonna direct like a crazy short film. Which, to be honest, some of them are pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You admit?
Yeah.
And some of them, like the one I was on, don't really make up from anything. They don't see anything.
What do you do?
Why are you asking?
What do you do?
For that practice?
Yeah.
So I was like DP. So I was like...
on someone else's.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So how it works is like everyone who wants to pitch for their own, you know, it could be a short film, it could be a pilot for a TV, it could be anything, right? And so you bring kind of like, you make up your own team. And usually like the executive roles, like executive producer, DP, those are your main kind of like core. And those are the people who are like, you go into the project together, you get marked on it and so forth. So I kind of found myself with this person's project called like, Where Are You Really From? Is that what it's called? And that's her, which is like I don't want to go too deep into this. It's basically about like a Filipino family kind of like figuring out their stuff. I don't even remember too much, but.
Oh yeah, we met there.
Amanda was doing BTS.
Okay.
Yeah, and I spilled mustard on my pink sweatpants, and then that's the first conversation we had.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's like one of our shoots, right?
Okay.
She's like, we get like these like packaged sandwiches. She was wearing these pink sweats. And she just spilled it on them.
And that
Yellow
was the first
mustard
time
on
I
the
actually
sweatpants.
talked to Ryan.
It's a pretty good metaphor for how you're on
Yeah,
in
I know.
all of our future shoots.
Yeah, I know. that was a
Mustard on pink sweatpants.
yeah.
I worked on your practicum,
Okay, yeah,
right?
let's
That
not
was
talk
yours.
about my
Oh,
practical.
yeah, you're a practical.
it's
Your film.
yeah. Let's not talk about.
Wait,
What
no,
happened to
let's
it, by the
yeah,
way?
well, let's talk about it.
I spent a lot of time on the audio.
Okay, no. I'm gonna release it soon.
Soon.
Bro, it's been
you
like-
said you were gonna release
I
this soon
know.
a year ago.
No, I know.
When'd you
But I was
graduate?
at my
When'd you graduate?
When did I graduate?
Yeah, was it last
year
year?
in October.
Oh, so it's only been a year.
It's been done for almost 2 years now.
Alright. So walk us through the problem. What's like delaying it?
Mostly just my insecurities.
Insecure.
Nothing else.
Why insecure?
Okay, but I mean, for the longest time, I was just like, damn,
I don't
I don't wanna put it out there because I just didn't like it that much, you know, the end product.
Mm.
But like, then I was like, oh, okay, it was my first short film project anyway. It wasn't gonna be great anyway. Like, you can't have too much of an expectation, and I just want to celebrate the hard work everyone else put in and me. But like,
Right.
yeah, I just want to put it out soon before I leave.
That's fair. I would say like with those practicums, I think a lot. Like I hope at least like when because it is student film, like you're not aiming it to be like the best of the best.
No. And it was our first time.
Probably don't know too much.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even like when I was doing mine, like I was like calling myself like DP, whatever. It's just like a fancy like camera title. I don't know what really like.
DP
That
means
much.
director of photography, by the way.
Yeah,
If anyone had any thoughts of
yeah, that's good. Good catch there.
it.
But yeah, and I think to your point, Amanda, I do think it is important. Like even if you aren't like happy with the greatest project, like at the end of the day, a lot of people put their effort into it, and it's still good to see like what the final product is like.
Yeah.
Not to like shame, the one that I was on. I was like, it was curious on like, oh, like what happened, because at the end of the day, like people like volunteer all their time
Right.
because it's like people do it for their hours, they do it for like grade or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still nice to kind of just see the final product.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you guys met at that practicum, how much time before lab forms and then you asked Amanda to hop on? Because she wasn't there at the beginning,
Yeah.
but she was there like pretty early on.
Yeah, I think it was like, I don't remember. So I remember
year
I met
later.
you.
Was it? No, it was earlier. Wasn't it?
No, because I remember specific when lab started was because when I graduated, so I already graduated. She's like a year younger than me. So when I finished my practicum and graduated, it was probably like at least a year after before like lab started.
Okay.
How did that convo even go about?
I mean, you just asked me to be PTS on OMT's music video.
Oh,
And that was it.
Was that the first time
That
you
was the
met?
first time I met everyone.
I'm not no
It was on
way.
OMT.
I'm on
Yeah.
my way.
Auntie was that was a good project.
It was a great.
That was a
project.
fun project. It was just really tiring.
Yeah, I want to say though, like, given like, since I met you into you now, I just want to put it out there that like, I'm personally very proud of you. I think Lab is very proud of you, like where you've become.
I'm not.
Oh.
Sorry. I mean,
Shut
You
up.
just ruined the moment.
oops.
You went from
Not
just
knowing
like,
what a beanbag, what
oh,
goes in
yeah.
the sandbags on C-stand.
yeah. So I asked
Okay.
Amanda here,
Okay,
finish film school.
disclaimer, that was 3 a.m. in the morning, and I said the correct answer right after.
No,
But
you
I just
didn't.
wanted to be a little out.
I was like messaged you. I was like, we were just talking. I was like, Amanda, like, yo, what do you think goes in a sandbag? She couldn't think for a
Sand.
while.
Beans.
She had beans.
Allegedly.
She had rice. Honestly, those are not wrong answers. It's just like,
beanbag.
It's just not the first answer.
it's just
I
not
would
the first thing.
say. What goes in a sandbag? I don't know. Beans.
Beans.
Wow.
But
Yeah, let's not
anyways,
talk about that.
I think, yeah, to the point though, it's like, yeah, now you've established a name for yourself. I think your photos are like really good, superb photos, and I think it's good to see like, I guess the contrast. Well, like when I started working with Amanda, like what I realized is like, you don't need to be like technically really good at something, but as long as you have the passion, the creative for it, like you can make it work.
Yeah. You don't have to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
Are you saying I'm bad?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like.
I was gonna say it.
I'm just saying like the technical aspect.
Yeah, yeah,
like for
no.
example, what goes in a sandbag?
Okay.
Obviously, it doesn't
I
matter.
blame RTA. They didn't give me too much to take away from,
What do you actually think of the program?
I actually
Was it
don't
worth it?
remember anything I learned from the program. Oh, actually, besides like audio classes, because those classes I actually really enjoyed. But like,
You like the audio classes?
yeah, I really like the audio classes and the music production classes. Maybe because I didn't know anything about it, so
Right.
like everything was new to me.
I mean, it is pretty important. I feel like
Yeah.
every time we talk about productions, like audio side, it's better if the director actually understands.
Yeah, I think audio is kind of like, at least in the beginning stage, is overlooked because everyone's like, oh, focus on the camera, which obviously like you need the camera to whatever do the video or project. But at the end of the day, like audio is like, they actually tell you that too in RTA. They're like, yeah, audio is like the most important thing because like, let's say you watch a video, for example, like usually the first thing to kind of like cut out would actually be the video itself, but the audio will keep hearing. Have you kind of experienced that before? Like, let's say it glitches, but the audio is playing, but the video kind of like stutters or something.
Yeah.
Lags or like network.
Yeah.
Because they prioritize audio not only because it's like obviously the bandwidth in terms of data is smaller because it's an audio thing, but it's like less jarring. Where it's like, let's say you're watching a video and all of a sudden like there's no audio. That's like a lot more like obvious.
Okay. That's it.
But
Yeah, it is important.
Would you recommend anyone to go through the program?
Oh yeah, I
For
mean, would I recommend RTA?
Basically.
Yeah.
Or, okay, not just RT specifically, but like any like creative industries program before, like to go to school where you think they should hop straight into the industry? Because I feel like
I think
that's
it'll mix
a major
both.
debate, usually.
Like, it is nice to be in school. I think you learn a lot of other things, maybe not specifically like, you know, setting up a C-stand. No, you do learn it. You just don't remember it maybe because you don't do it enough.
yeah, certain like there's this one program where it's like you could be like RE certified.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently this girl's RE certified too.
What's up?
I did
What does
go,
that mean?
but it was like one
It's
workshop.
like a
It was
really
one
expensive
workshop.
camera.
Oh.
So it's basically like in RTA, like in order for you to like rent it out to use or practice or whatever, you have to be like RE certified.
Okay.
But most people like, because there's only like one or two cameras, or
There's
like
only two.
for a film, quote unquote film program, there's like one or two. And so like there's like
Is that hard to rent?
10, 12 people in a class, like, and they just touch like one button to like get certified.
Huh.
And so you have people who are not really certified, who are like certified. But
Touching like $10,000 cameras.
nah, it's probably like 30,000. But that's probably why there's only one. But it's just like the irony of it is like you know, you go to this program to like hopefully learn about this, but you're not really given the resources to like really like understand it and really be like RE certified.
Okay.
So I think, I guess to my like opinion, like on your question is like, so like I obviously like graduated, I took the 4 years. I would say I do see both sides of it. Because for example, like we were friends, well, even you yourself, like you didn't finish school, like Koven didn't like finish school either. But I think not only is it like the hard skills that are important, but I think what's more important is more like the soft skills that you develop. Like for me, like learning how to be like a bit more responsible.
Right. I think it's important to go to school for the life aspects.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what you're studying.
Yeah.
Unless you're going into that
Yeah,
industry
yeah.
specifically.
Like the studying is good, but you know, I had my own like issues too. Like I kind of went into it with, maybe I was like thinking ahead of myself kind of thing. Like, oh, like I already kind of like know this. And I think that's like one regret that I have is that I didn't put enough effort into school actually. And like I think university is something where it's like what you put into it is like what you get out of it. And so for me, like I think I was just in the wrong mindset, but like, you know, a lot of people are young, have like that ego and like just like, oh, like despite like now understanding like actually like how like productions work, it's like I really didn't know anything. You know, and I should have paid more attention. I should have like connected more with my peers. But
Yeah, peer connection. It's a good thing to have.
You think you got like good connection? Well,
Yeah.
obviously you guys connected out of school
Yeah.
in the first place. So you feel like you got some good connections.
Yeah, and I think it'll help you in the future too to have these friends who know their shit, or at least hopefully some of them know, and then you guys can work on projects together, work together. Future, I got like a few job referrals because of my friends too. So
Oh, that's
I think it's good to connect with
Yeah.
people, be more open minded.
I think also too like Toronto is such a, especially in like the film creative industry is very like it's actually much tight knit. You know, like
yeah, in
so
Toronto, yeah.
everyone kind of knows each other. So it's good to keep those networks and those connections. And yeah, I think that's like the one thing I like kind of like regret, I guess. Like it's just like not putting enough into school and like you know me, like I'll always like whatever shit on it for like the stupid stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I don't ever think it, especially if you like, let's say you just graduated high school.
Yeah.
And you're like 17, 18, you're trying to figure out your life. Like don't.
We're doing.
Yeah, like it's not a bad option. You know, it's not like obviously like video, photo, whatever. You can actually like learn all that on your own. And I'm sure you know this too, like audio, music, like you can learn on your own, right?
Yeah.
But besides the hard skills, it's also just like learning to be independent.
How about you? You recommend it?
I recommend it. The only
You
problem
seem
was
like you had a fun time.
I did have a fun time. I think it's because I took a lot of different courses. I didn't focus on like one thing. I just took classes for fun because I was doing my own thing on the side anyway, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I wanted to learn other skills. So that made it more fun.
That's good. But I think that's what school should be. I think you had the right mindset for it.
Yeah.
What was the problem though? As you were saying before.
Oh, the problem is I can't focus in lectures. As many other people might also have the same problem because you're tired. You go to class at like 8 a.m. You need coffee. You're like forced to sit in the lecture hall with like 200 other people for 3 hours, looking at these people talk.
Have you thought that you just have ADHD? Maybe?
I do. I definitely do.
But I think
But then
most
that's like
kids-
everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like
everyone.
most creative.
So
But
that's why YouTube
Yeah.
University is sometimes better.
I think that's the one thing I don't miss about going to school is just like whatever, like if you have like 9 a.m. classes, you have to like go early in the morning and like sometimes you're just tired and like it's just hard, and especially like when you have classes in the theater,
Yeah.
because like we had classes in the theater because
I just sleep.
our TMU is not big enough.
The chairs are too comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like warm on a cold day. You're just like there and then just knock out.
Yeah, you just don't retain any information to processing as much as you want to learn. It's hard.
No, I had a music history class where specifically to combat like not paying attention during class and attendance, they would do like a quiz in the middle of the lecture.
Oh.
So
Alright.
whatever they were teaching in the beginning part of the lecture, they give you a quiz in the middle to mark attendance and if you're paying attention or not. And then that was kind of like one of the participation grades. What happened was I would also fall asleep in the theater because it's also a really nice theater, very nice chairs. And then one time no one woke me up because we're in a full theater, but people were spread out because of not many students. And then so there's nobody in my row. Nobody's sitting behind me.
you were just like
Yeah, so I was out. No one handed me the paper. No one woke me up. I woke up to everyone handing the papers back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I guess I don't get the money.
So you just took the L for that one?
Well, I'm going to run up. I'm like, sorry, I was sleeping. I didn't get the quiz.
They probably
Also, I don't know what the
saw
question was.
you. Oh, that's
So-
funny.
Yeah, that was fun. So on that topic of not paying attention, I don't think I was fully there when you kind of got your start in the creative industry because my first introduction with you was when you were already in it, basically. Like when you joined Lab and worked on shoes and things like that.
Yeah.
So when do you feel like you really started like diving into like social media, your own craft, your own creative life and things like that?
I mean, I started posting just for fun, like when I was in high school, but that wasn't like I didn't take it seriously. It was just for fun. So I wouldn't say I like got into the industry until last year, honestly, because everything before that was just for fun. Yeah, because last year was when I finally started taking it seriously.
Uh-huh.
But like before that it was just posting, build my portfolio on social media, but like I didn't think too much of it. Like I didn't dive into any business aspect of it. But then once I actually started diving into more businessy stuff, that's when it started taking off.
What flipped the switch for you? Like what made you specifically decide, okay, I gotta take it seriously now? Or was it like an easy transition? Like, okay, I just gotta like pay attention more.
A little bit of both. I just got a lot of actually you guys inspired me a lot though. I
Oh.
gotta say. It was
Who
like
inspires you the most?
bro. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No, let's talk about it.
I want to hear it now too.
Who inspires me the most? In
Yeah.
my lab? Fuck. I mean,
Skate.
Okay.
You don't have to say me.
It
My
was-
feelings won't be hurt.
like
I don't know mine.
I would probably say Koven, just because he was like when I was interning here. Okay, I'm sorry, Henry.
No, say it.
Ryan.
Down.
Koven's probably the most
That's
disappointing
crazy.
answer. That's easily the most disappointing answer.
Okay, no. It's because when I was interning here during my school final year of school, I was interning here.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, with Ethan.
with Ethan and
Okay.
Koven.
Yeah.
So they were like the two people that I was interacting the most during that period, and
Okay.
it was like probably the lowest period of my life.
Well, why?
I don't know. I was depressed, man.
Was it? I mean, it was kind of like a transition period for you.
Yeah,
you
it
were trying to
was
figure
a
stuff
huge
out.
transition period.
Makes
Because it
sense.
was the last semester of university. Like I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna graduate soon. What am I gonna do? And then I was interning at lab. I was like, damn, this isn't even gonna be a real job. Yeah, see? It was just,
Yeah, I can't speak upon that.
Yeah. It's not, obviously we're like a collective and we do things for fun, but we also want to be a business.
Yeah, you have to make a living. You have to sustain you have to pay rent, you have to make a living.
And I'm like, damn, I'm interning at my collective. Is that gonna make me like, is that gonna build a future for me?
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough? So then.
Turns out it was.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, that sentiment, and I'm just gonna say, just like in terms of just like lab and stuff, it's pretty common. And I think we had these discussions before. It's hard to be in a collective and, you know, as what lab is when everyone is so young.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's trying to like figure out what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's trying to has different like goals and priorities, and like, and I think we understand that as lab. Like, you know, everyone has that, but it's always nice to just kind of like, oh, even if you go do your own thing or whatever, like you always have like a home here. But yes, go on.
Yeah. But that's
So
when I
cool.
started doing TikTok.
He inspired you. Was it the conversations? Or like
Yeah.
seeing him work?
He did help me a lot throughout that period. Because
Like really cool.
Yeah, that's not what I heard.
Yeah.
That's not what
No,
I
what
heard.
did you hear?
No, not here, but it's like every time we hang out, like it's just kind of like grilling you.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, see, it's either that or he's like giving really good advice.
Yo, the one thing that I realized about Koven,
Okay.
and
He's
it's
gonna
not
see
like
this.
it's okay. Yeah. You know, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? You say
Okay.
homies is all love.
Okay.
One thing I realized about Koven is when you're with him on the ones is different when you're with him in a group.
Oh yeah.
I
He's
don't know
super
what it is.
introspective.
Like, yo, Conan, you into like, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's interesting.
Mhm.
Not like in a bad way, but it's just I think that's just how he like kind of like works his brain.
I understand in a way because I feel like I can like get closer with someone in a one-on-one situation compared to in a
Yeah,
group,
obviously.
right? So I kind of understand. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it's
Like,
yeah.
I cried in front of him.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was
0 to
sad.
100.
Oh,
How
about
come you
what
don't cry in
life?
front of me?
Why
You
do
don't
you want
trust-
me to cry in front of
Because
you?
you don't trust me enough.
No, I do. I just haven't got the chance to cry in front of you.
Nah, I'm gonna make her cry. So.
Yo, chill.
Yeah,
Not here, not here.
Anyway,
Later.
back on topic. So that's when I started like doing lab TikTok, right? And
Yeah.
that kind of like opened up my eyes to, oh wait, I can do social media.
Oh, okay.
That was my first switch. Was like, damn, if I can grow a following for someone else, why don't I grow it myself?
Okay.
And then after
So you ditched us and just did your own.
okay, no, the internship ended, so yeah, I kind
Got
of
an internship. Okay.
and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start grinding and just put 100% into my own work. After
More than
school
100%.
stuff.
To be honest, I think I always use you as an example to other people.
Oh,
To be
really?
like, I'm like, yo, like Amanda is someone who like gets it. She is someone that always puts 110% towards like her own ideas, her own projects, and things like that.
Damn, you never told me that.
Yeah. I never want to
You
compliment
don't
you to
wanna
your
gas me
face.
up. Okay.
Man, this is
But
so-
here you go on
this,
the podcast.
Yeah, it's on podcast different. After when this thing ends, bro, it's back to the girl. Yo, we need to humble this girl sometimes.
Yes.
Yo, you
I don't want to
have
be humble. I'm pretty humble.
260K on TikTok.
What?
Oh, yeah,
260?
crumble.
I wish.
260. You
No,
not?
no, no.
Isn't it 200K on TikTok?
200K is a lot.
2600.
That's 260K. 260K.
That's TikTok. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I said. That's a
Oh.
lot. Yeah, that's a lot. You got the Adobe sponsorship. You know, you heading to places.
Yeah, you got
You
state
just need us.
sponsors. How about us?
You're like, fuck
Where's
that.
our sponsors? Where's our sponsor?
Yeah, where's our sponsor?
Sponsored by Lab.
Amanda just left us.
Bro, I'm still here.
We built you up.
Yo, look.
And then, yeah, what?
Amanda doesn't even have the lab tag on her profile.
Oh, shit.
now
You ain't repping?
they're just trying to.
repping?
Yo, so this one time-
Yo.
I was like sitting in the car with Amanda. I was like, Amanda, how come you don't have your lab tag on the account anymore? She's like, oh, you know, it doesn't look good. It's not part of the
I didn't say
I was
it
like,
didn't
fine.
look good. I said
You
I
said you
had
didn't have space.
other- yeah, I didn't have
Yeah, I was like, all right,
space.
fine. She added it back, right? And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I checked recently. It's gone again.
And I never edited back.
You never added it back?
No.
What do we get replaced by? What's on there right now?
She's just too good.
No. Okay, fine.
Like, and then what? Next chapter.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry. And
Okay,
then
we all
Amanda,
cry.
Amanda's moving to London,
Oh yeah, I'm moving to London.
so she's leaving us. This is like a chapter. It's like Amanda's gone. Bye.
Is it? Are you? I don't think I've actually asked you why you're leaving to London specifically. I just make fun of you moving to London.
But you know what?
Yeah, you
No,
know
I don't.
why.
Oh,
Well, there's not.
I'm
like,
assuming
a
for work,
specific
but I don't know
reason
why.
it's going for some eggplant. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like the food, like Chinese takeaway, as they call it?
Do you like eggplant? Like as in like the food?
Not really.
All right. Well,
I honestly, eggplant's like a.
I don't actually
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
Okay, if it's cooked really well, I fuck with eggplant. But if it's like shit eggplant, I don't want like that shit's like slimy, it's like soft.
I don't. Yeah, I don't like.
Eggplant talk.
I don't like eggplant. It's okay. I guess we all agree
It's food.
that we don't like it.
Yeah. I always make fun of you for not knowing. You didn't know what Lao Gan Ma was.
Oh my god.
Oh, I could finally bring it
my
up. You didn't know what it was.
This is just an episode exposing.
You're
everything.
born understanding what Lao Gan Ma is as an
wasn't
Asian person.
She's gonna start crying on the podcast.
Yeah.
Come on.
Actually,
I was like, alright, through all the things you didn't know in life, it's like forgivable. But that is the one thing
Okay,
that I'll
wow.
never let you live down.
okay,
That's
but,
insane.
But now I've redeemed myself because I use it a lot. So
Okay,
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah.
So that's why I'm amazed you've never had it
It's good.
or know
Okay.
what it was.
Because I never lived with my family, so if I didn't buy it, how would I know?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Now you know.
No, I know.
So
Anyway.
moving to London,
Oh yeah.
is it because you just want to? There's more opportunities there, or you kind of like a?
Well, I
fresh
don't know
start?
if there's going to be more opportunities, but I just wanted. I've always wanted to move somewhere in the European continent.
Okay.
And also, I think I've just been moving my whole life that it's hard for me to just stay in one place. Even though, like this year, I finally feel very content with my life in Toronto,
That's right. Yeah.
and that's never happened before. But then that's when I was like, damn, maybe that's a sign for me to go then, because then I'm finally content with my life here. Whereas if I were to leave like 2 years ago, I'd probably just be like escaping somewhere.
I see.
Like I don't want to be like escaping my life.
Okay.
So do you think you strive when it's like uncomfortable kind of like you don't like getting too
Yeah.
comfortable at one place?
Yeah, I realize that I don't like getting too comfortable. Just like having that comfort is nice, but I also like challenges, and if I don't get a challenge, I just feel like I'm not doing enough.
Mm.
Which is probably also not a great mindset. But
No, I think it's fine if that's what motivates you. I think a similar way, and I know that if I get too comfortable, I'm not going to push myself.
yeah,
So it's better to put myself in uncomfortable situations, so I feel like at least I'm progressing.
yeah,
So it's similar. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
yeah. And since we're like young, I'm like, okay, if
Might as
it's a
well try.
risk, I'll do it.
I think you're going to be disappointed on the food.
Oh yeah, I know. I went there and I was like,
Yeah.
food is expensive as.
I was like, when I first found out she was going to move to London, I'm like, you're going to come crying back to Toronto.
Because
Yeah,
of the
I heard
food.
too. So my like girlfriend went to London and said the food was like kind of mid.
Like I know there is good food there.
It's good, but it's
But
just
you have
like
to live there every day.
yeah, you can't compare it.
I'll cook.
But you can't compare it with like Toronto's like diversity in terms of the food. It's just
Yeah.
like hard.
That's just a sacrifice, man. You gotta make sacrifices.
That's
I can't go to every city that's like perfect and everything. You know?
You're already in Europe, so traveling to the rest of Europe is a lot
Yeah.
easier. So that is a great perk.
Asian food wise.
So I mean, on top of your social media stuff, like we were gassing you up earlier on your covers and things like that. How do you feel like that's really changed your life in a way? Because on the last podcast I was talking with Ethan, him like blowing up through TikTok. Basically his career had a huge like jumpstart because of it. How do you feel the effects of it?
Looking back, there's definitely like huge effects that I don't really realize unless I actually sit down and think about it. Because I don't really like to think about it too much, or else it'll like kind of stress me out. 'Cause
Okay.
I was like, damn, there's like a high expectation there,
Uh-huh.
and then it feels
Well,
like I need to keep going. or do
expectation
better
on who? Yourself.
myself.
Your own expectation.
Yeah. So I don't really think about it that much, but obviously, like thinking back a year before, like me a year before, I'd probably be like really happy because I've reached what I'd wanted to do after a year. But then it seems like it's kind of never enough.
Mhm.
Even with like the numbers, it doesn't really mean that much.
But that's kind of
I feel like that's a social media like rabbit hole. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you
It's
never.
never
It's
never
never
enough.
enough.
I think if I can like, I want to comment about that too. Is like, I had a feeling. I was like thinking about like, social media is like a yes in terms of like any business you should
Must
do
do.
it. But for me, like, I've never like been able to get into it like as a grind. like, you know, I see Ethan grind and Koven, Amanda, like you guys grind, and you kind of do too a bit. Just like not as much,
I should.
but you do a little.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and then I see also like I follow some very talented people who are also grinding on social media, and it's like oh, like I feel like kind of like left out, or I feel like I'm not working as hard, and I had to come to terms to understand like, yeah, social media is one thing, but it also depends on kind of like one, like what your revenue, like where you're getting money from, and two is like what your like end goal is.
Yeah.
And so maybe just as like a, you know, a change of kind of like view, I feel like social media is good, but like you don't need to be like super good at it to do like to achieve what you want. It helps, but I think for me personally, like I always try to like do it, but I cannot get into the disciplined habit in like doing the trends. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I could do these trends, like I can follow it, but I've never been able to like just keep at it. And so like every time I do post on like TikTok or like Instagram, it's usually stuff that like I want to post.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel the same way.
But I think as an advice to kind of like, you know, creators that are like starting out, I think to really understand like what do you want to do, because like once you go that path, you know, like Amanda's doing, kind of like doing the social media and doing that route, not to like discredit their like skills or whatever, but you do end up being part of like you are essentially an influencer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like part of your responsibility. So I think what I mean is like some people maybe like you don't want to be an influencer, but you still want to be like, you know, good at videography and stuff. Which is what I mean. Like you might not need to like put a lot into social media, but you should still like understand escape, but use that time also to like finesse your skill.
What do you think your primary audience is? Like the people consuming your stuff?
Where?
Do you think like who? Do you think it's mostly people trying to, because you do give a lot of insight in the processes of editing photos or your blogs and things like that?
I would say, yeah, more like people who want to get into photography.
Right.
Because, yeah, like editing tutorials, like seeing behind the scenes and stuff, it like helps people to like want to also try things out. So, yeah, I honestly don't know my audience that well anymore because it always changes.
Right. Also, social media.
Yeah. Also social media.
I feel like the TikTok, again, we talked about this last time, but it was like TikTok is great for like getting new eyes. It's good for pushing like your platform, but it's not good for retaining an audience.
Yeah.
Because it's different set of eyes watching like everything. Right.
But yeah, what you were saying, like I think it's good to just get into it. Like if you can, try to do it, because then you'll know yourself better. You'll know what you like and don't like better, or else you just don't know. And if you never know, you never try, you never know. So you don't have to like be an influencer, obviously. You can just post whatever you want. So like what you were doing, I think it's what, if you post what you want, but also like I think recently I learned this, like one for my audience and one for me. So I do like it's like a good balance between what I want to post and what I know what my audience want to see. So yeah, you were saying like obviously not everyone wants to be an influencer to like please people or post stuff that people actually want to see. But you just want to post whatever you want to make. So finding that balance on social media is important. So yeah, there's definitely like a lot of self-discipline involved because you actually have to like sit down and actually grind it, or else it's just not gonna work out.
Yeah. But like I think it is like the one path where it's like before like a lot of careers, like especially in the creative field, they're like, oh, like how do I like, you know, really do well, make this into a career? And I think like that's like the one way.
Starts with.
And it like I think even Ethan has said before, it's like maybe like you don't blow up like immediately, but as long as you're persistent, like it'll happen.
Yeah, I didn't blow up immediately. It took like months.
Yeah, months is already pretty good.
It took like months. Yeah, months is pretty good. But
months is pretty good. But like, but like to the point, it's just like as long as you like keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I have like a lot of respect for like the grind into it.
I mean, I'm assuming you're enjoying it still so far.
I'm still doing it, but it just feels like now I think I have new goals and like my goals have evolved.
Right.
So it's no longer just that, and that doesn't satisfy me anymore.
So what are some of the new goals then?
I want to get into YouTube, like long form content.
Longer form. So things like a podcast, like really long, or more like
no,
like
not
vlog,
podcast.
kind of vlog
like
stuff, right?
Like you know those cinematic.
Cinematic.
Like, vlogs.
cinematic
yeah.
vlogs, like
Sharing-
tutorials.
Yeah, tutorials, like sharing more of my personality. It's like I feel like I never really got to show my personality through short form content.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like I think like short form content's good to get new audiences, but to keep your fans, like you gotta do like YouTube
yeah.
just to like, yo, this is like about me, my
Mhm.
life, and then yeah, you're gonna make some buy my presets.
Yeah.
Buy my presets.
But then YouTube is just harder. It's so like
Your
hard
presets
to-
are good.
Thanks.
How come I don't get a free one?
You don't even. Okay.
Yo,
I'll
you're
give
not
it to
even
you
a
on your
photographer.
birthday.
You're a
That's
photographer.
for the homie. You gotta buy it.
That's true too.
You're on
Hello.
rogue.
Hello.
Bro, you're the one who got 260K TikTok. Look at me. What guy?
You got the podcast.
In the lab. In the lab.
Yeah, so that should mean you're gonna share it with your fans. What do you call your fans?
I don't have.
They don't got like a
You
standing.
know, gonna standing?
Don't say whatever you guys came up with last time.
Okay, I won't say it. I mean, I think another one of your goals that you mentioned one time is that you want to like sort of travel the world. It goes along with your
Yeah.
like nomadic kind of like lifestyle and things like that. Is that still one of your goals?
Yeah, not really. I don't want
Not
to
really.
be like a nomadic lifestyle anymore. More
Okay.
like just I do like the idea of having a place to call home, but like yeah, to be able to travel for work is the goal.
So Toronto is like your home now. You feel like it's actually
Yeah,
where you're
it feels
residing.
like home.
That's good.
Yeah,
I think I actually was starting a project specifically on the idea. Like I mean, we're honestly when I was growing up, I was really privileged to be able to travel around the world and things like that. And I feel like that sort of stuck with me in terms of a lot of my inspiration creatively comes from seeing like other people's how the way they live. As simple as that. Like not even just the culture or the food. It's just like I like going to another country and just seeing what the 9-to-5ers, what the salarymen, what are they doing? How are they living? I feel like for some reason that really inspires me to like be more creative
Mhm.
and it kind of really opens my eyes to like different cultures in the world and things like that. And so I also feel the need to travel. If I stay in
Yeah.
one place for too long, I feel like stuck, stagnant. So in a way, I really like understand where you're coming from there, and that's why I specifically wanted to do a project on what is home? Like, what does home mean? Like, what is it for me? What is it for? What is this concept of the idea of like being at home? And through that process, I also felt like in Toronto, especially like growing up with Lab, growing up with you guys, and things like that. I really felt like Toronto was where my roots are. Like it really felt like home after that. So definitely completely understand what you're saying.
It's the people.
Yeah, it's the
People
people.
makes it home.
Yeah, well, again, Toronto's one of the most diverse cities, if not the diversity in the world. Like it's crazy. So many different people, so many different cultures. Like you really get to see it all here, and that's why I think the city's amazing.
It is.
I agree.
I've grown to love Toronto.
That was amazing. What do you feel like? What are you gonna miss the most? Moving,
My friends.
your friends,
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss us the most, right?
I'm gonna miss working with you guys and shooting and going to free concerts.
Okay.
No, but that's like
But to be
my
fair, like,
favorite part.
Yeah,
too.
It is a great perk.
Yeah.
It is your perk, and you also do the photos.
Yeah, and
Which
I
are really good,
get
so.
photos and like watch your friends perform is like a whole nother thing. That's like not anyone can get that, you know.
True.
That's a
I mean,
big deal.
yeah, it's pretty nice for us to
Yeah.
say. I don't think about it too much, but like now that you say it, it's like
yeah, like watching your friends perform on a big stage. Yeah.
and then you get to
That's
see the
crazy.
main act. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
fuck them.
crazy.
Hurry up. Let me see DRB.
Yeah, you're done. Next, let me see the helmet. Yo, but speaking of like projects that I guess you've been on, like what is because you've directed a couple of projects Lab. Do you have one that you kind of like the most?
I'm gonna sound nerdy for saying this, but I do like the Stranger Things one a lot.
Hmm.
Is that
That's the Buddha Bum.
Summers? Or
Yeah, the summer one.
You
'Cause
know
it
that
was
one?
just so fun.
Yeah,
It's the one where like the cat.
I did the soundtrack for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was good actually. Soundtrack
That
was
was, that
good.
was that was really good. That was exactly what I had in my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that project, and then kind of because I think like the Buddha ones was like where like I got to work with you more like in terms of like but like before, like you would do BTS, but now it's like you take a more like creative role. I think like even working with you, I had to like figure out like for me where it's like I think it's a big trust thing. I think what was the very first one that you did? Was it the movie one?
It was a movie.
There wasn't one before, right?
No.
So the movie one, right? I think actually let's walk. I kind of want to like walk through the projects because like the first one was the movie. I think it was kind of like I needed to give you more trust. I felt like I was very like, you know, I had more of the technical knowledge, so I felt like there was a lot of restrictions. But I think sometimes like I just need like trust. You know, a man, for example, like for creative decisions and.
But you need to work together to go.
Yeah, like you gotta work together. It's like it's like at the end of the day, any relationship in terms of like a working relationship, it's all about compromise. I always like to say that it's like you can be both of you have really good ideas, but at the end of the day, we need to find like a middle ground where it actually works. And then sometimes you know we butt heads. Like it's pretty normal because it is at the end of the day a very creative thing. And
Yeah, we were debating the podcast titles the other day.
yeah,
Actually.
figuring out
Like, what was
podcast
she-
titles.
I wanted to name the I can't even know if I can say it. So
Say it.
now that I think about it, that title was really bad.
Say it.
I was like, we suck Ethan off for an hour.
Bro.
Okay, it's a bad podcast title. Sorry, but like,
Yeah, see now, in retrospect, like I think like that podcast title would work if it was more of like a comedy one.
Yeah.
And we keep this is the thing we have to keep.
This is Ethan's first episode, and you're like doing him like that.
We're not
That's
clickbait this
crazy.
guy. Yo, Ethan.
yeah,
Love.
I want to clickbait
We
the
need to
shit
get
out of it.
Yo, Amanda one. Yo, we gotta think of a Amanda title.
We suck man. No, I can't say that.
No.
Yeah, but anyways, let's going back. Yeah, so there's that one, and then even like the Summers one. It's just like I felt like, sometimes like I just need to trust Amanda, but it's like I feel like this way.
Yeah,
it
you
could
were
work
stressing,
better.
bro. You were stressing. And I was
But for the-
chilling.
Okay,
You
but
were
for the,
chilling?
I was
yeah,
pretty
but for the
chill.
right reasons.
Yeah, for the right reason.
For the right
Like, I was like,
reasons.
damn, chill, bro.
Yeah, and so I think working with Amanda, because again, it goes back to that thing where like you might not be like technically as rehearsed, but you have really good ideas, and I think that's one thing that has actually helped a lot of the lab projects is when we have like a new director kind of step in, where it's like Amanda directing, or like I think Dan's directed.
That's really good.
Dan's good, and then it's the idea of trust. Like I just really need to like let go. I think sometimes I put too much control, like, and people attest to it. Like when I work with like Paul and Jack and Dan, like sometimes I have too much like control over them. Because like obviously everyone wants the project to do well, especially when we start working with clients that are a little bit bigger, you know, like Spotify, and then I just need to like let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Even like for the unrequited video, like Ethan, I was like looking at her like treatment. I was like, dude, how the heck are we gonna do it? But
Oh, right, you directed that too.
yeah, she
I was
directed.
gonna
What was
ask
the
you if
last
you're gonna
one?
do more lives, actually, but I forgot you did that one.
Yeah. So no more lives.
No,
No. Well, I thought it was great. I thought it was great. In
Yeah.
fact, that live was actually like pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it was.
It
No,
was.
yeah, it was like ambitious. Like I was like, yo, like you want to do like all that dancing, and then like, yo, that was a different
One take thing.
One take. I mean, it was hard.
It was.
But at the same time, I trusted your idea. You know, we tried to make it work, and I think we made it work. Really,
Yeah.
really good.
It looked great. It was a great live.
Yeah. If we had more time, I think we could do better. But like that's for everything. So
Yeah, it's always
Out of your
happens.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You just do the best that you can, what you have, and hope for the best. And I think we do.
Any other dream projects for you? Man?
Dream projects.
Yeah. Another movie. Short
Oh
film?
no.
No.
I don't
No more?
want to do any short films anymore.
Music video even.
Oh yeah, music videos for sure.
Okay.
Wink, wink.
What are you winking at? You doing something?
I don't know. Anyone.
Yeah, but you're leaving soon. When are you leaving for London? Like,
Next year in January.
Yeah.
we'll get some projects in before you leave.
Squeeze something.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just like book you for like more music videos for music I don't have. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but music videos for sure. Yeah. Lives are fun. Lives are really fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we can be more ambitious with them too.
We can definitely do more lives. That's a good idea. I mean, what is the end goal for you then? What is like the purpose of doing all this?
Well, I don't even know. I'm like confused every day what my end
Confused.
goal is. But I mean, it changes all the time. You know, you
Right.
always have new goals. So my current new goal is probably making stuff that I want to make,
Mhm.
which is, as I said before, like on YouTube, I want to make more long form content, and that's kind of the new goal that I want to focus on right now. Everything else is just kind of like for fun. Like even music videos, I think we just do it for fun most of the time. Oh,
Like
Not-
it's for
It is
for
fun.
but
It is
it's
fun.
not like
it's
this
not
is
just for fun. But
no,
it's-
yeah, like I
on
understand
the
what
fun
you're saying.
side of
It's like
things.
music video is hard because as most people know, music video is a loss leader. As in like they're really expensive because time and like the budget to actually do a good one, and then the returns are usually not that good. But I think for lab specifically, when we were first starting out, it gave us a lot of practice. How do we work as a team? How do we be resourceful? And then we kind of apply that to like projects where you do have a bigger budget. But I do find that music video really helped set our brand. When we go all the way back to like technically, endless, non-official MV, but I think OMT was technically the first official one, and then
I believe so. Yeah.
going all the way up to like Skin Tight, and then even like Midnight, which was actually done in collaboration with Hido.
That was a sick.
No,
That was good. But I think it sets our like branding. It sets like it really pushes us in like how we can do better. So I think it's good. I think we're always looking to try and do it, but obviously like transparency. Like we got to do it with an artist that we think like aligns their values with us. Like is part of kind of like.
Yeah, you definitely want other than trust, it's like you definitely want someone that understands the vision or understands some of the workflow, because at the end of the day, like music video budgets aren't great at this level, right? We try to be as resourceful as possible, so you gotta make compromises on certain things, and that comes with a certain mindset. And if the artist isn't aligned with that, or they don't like certain things, the working relationship is gonna be really difficult, and the final product in turn is also gonna not be as good as it could be.
It's definitely tricky. Like definitely had experiences where like it's just hard, but I think at the end of the day, it's just like understanding like compromise as well, right? Any relationship is always a compromise. But to that point, it's also why we started and have and continue to focus on good lives. Because I mean, they still cost in terms of budget, but the concept is a lot more simpler. It's more intimate. It does the same, if not a bit better than some music videos actually, because if for a live performance, it tracks the audio live, so it's a lot more of an intimate experience. And also it's just like
chaotic sometimes.
Yeah, it's still very chaotic, especially like when we do like a full live band. But
outdoors.
Yeah.
But
it's still cool to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. I think also for lab it encapsulates everything.
Video and audio.
Yeah, so I think it's one of the things that I really look forward to when we record. Yeah. How do you find your work-life balance through all this? Because I feel like if your job is social media, or like these things, and where you're sort of filming your life all the time, I feel like it's difficult to like put it down and just live in the moment for a second, So how do you find, one, is your work-life balance good right now?
Terrible.
And then two, the other part of the question is like, what are some of the things you do in order to improve your work-life balance?
Bro, I feel like I have no work-life balance. I'm trying. That's like probably the biggest challenge right now is finding a work-life balance. Because when you're working on social media, like my work is probably 60% social media.
Yeah.
So you're like constantly thinking. You constantly have a brain full of ideas, but like nowhere to pour them out to unless you just grind all the time.
Right.
So I feel like I'm just always in that mindset of like, oh, I should be working. Oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. So, yeah. Like,
do you like
dream
write
now
it?
is to just have a night in and watch a movie, bro. And I feel like even I can't even let myself do that sometimes. I'm just like, damn.
Difficult to let go.
Working. Yeah.
Do you like write your ideas?
Oh yeah, I do. I have like 5 journals, but it's still not enough.
Wow.
5
journals.
Yeah, it's just for different things.
I think I forgot how to write.
Oh.
I was like trying to write a check the other day, and I was looking at it, I'm like I don't
Do you have
remember
bad
what
handwriting?
English.
I think Henry kind of has bad.
I have that.
It's not great. It's not great by any.
You have bad
I
handwriting?
have really bad.
I don't want to be like sexist, but usually girls have good handwriting.
No one's
Yo.
handwriting.
Yo, you
I
say
know.
that, but Jackie,
No, but Jackie's like
his handwriting is like crazy.
Yo,
I can't believe it.
He's a sweeter man, so
Oh.
he gets the bonus on that. I feel like out of like lab,
Who has the best?
I think
handwriting?
Jackie has
He's
the
the
best. How about
No
Dan?
contest.
I feel like Dan.
His is pretty good too,
Dan's pretty.
but he actually draws and stuff. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
And Jackie's
Who has
the most
worst? Koven?
I don't think. I can't. It's hard to say. It might be mine.
Can we just put like our handwriting?
It might
up
be
on the
mine.
screen?
Mine's pretty bad.
Mine's really bad though. You can't understand it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's true. I saw your schedule one time. It was
Oh yeah.
not legible.
It's okay. If I can read it, that's all that matters.
That's true.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So what are some of the steps you're taking for improvement, other than like your 1 day off watching a movie?
I have no idea how to do that.
Wow, you've like not tried anything?
I just haven't like
Thought about it
actually
too much?
thought about it. Like I just try to make more time for friends recently. Like I'm really trying.
Do you find that like your relationships with your friends like help you alleviate some of the stress, where like kind of put you out of
Yeah.
just like back in
Like just
living?
Yeah. Like have a day like this where I can just actually go outside and be with other people and not be forced to be in my little bubble and do my work. It really helps a lot of like, figuring out how I can balance this life, because it's just...
To be honest, it is really difficult. And I've seen a lot of people who are working in the social media space, either as an editor or it's their job as an influencer. The biggest struggle I see them go through is not being able to let go. Just chill for a second,
Yeah.
I think goes back to the like ADHD mindset.
Yeah, I was scrolling that. You're always scrolling.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to scroll that much.
Really?
I don't. I hate scrolling.
I think it's less, but scrolling is just the idea like when you aren't working, you feel like you're wasting time.
Yeah.
And then it adds to the hardship when you're also, let's say you are scrolling and then you see people who are like putting stuff out.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah, that affects me too, which like goes back to like, yeah, I just don't
It's a
have
natural feeling. It's ego.
Yeah, it's ego. It's like, oh, like you have to like, other people are doing it. That's why you have to. But honestly, even for me, like I'm trying to find like a healthier relationship. Honestly, like honestly, I was talking to like a friend and like, yeah, like I just like gone off social media. Like I'm not even like on it. And like I think I wish I could do that, but it's kind of hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, like
it's
like you need to show presence in some way, and so like, but I wish like if I could like still do that and like just like I think it'd be like
not even just show presence. Sometimes like opportunities or like connections can only be made.
We're like especially like when people want to see your work, for example. And like sometimes
it's his own portfolio.
Yeah, and it's just like
you're forced to kind of just do it.
Yeah.
What I do, I mean, doesn't work for everyone, but what I do take regular social media breaks. Like I just won't
doesn't
go on it.
work for everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe for you it works.
It just like, because I have the same mentality when I see people post and sell music and like people are like popping off. If I put one word, I can do it too. We're just like, oh, like I'm not doing anything. Like I have nothing planned. I feel like I'm falling behind. So what that helps me is reset the mentality and sort of like, okay, I'm like get off it, and then when I come back on, have a more fresh viewpoint on it. So it's kind of what I do. It works really well because I feel like when I'm off it, I spend a lot of time just thinking about how I can grow myself as a person and as an artist, and then also my own mental. Honestly, it is mentally taxing when you're constantly having the feeling of like I'm not doing that. It's 24/7 too, right? It is really mentally burdening and taxing. So by me taking like these regular social media breaks, I can like alleviate some of that burden.
I think that's good for the mental, but it's not good for the algorithm. It's
Ah,
terrible for the algorithm.
yes.
I've been there, so that's why I think it doesn't work for me. Because if I ever try to go back again, it's like 10 times harder.
But yeah, but to that point, it's like the idea where it's just like, yeah, you just can't escape it.
Yeah.
Especially for a man that like for you you basically have a career in like the social media landscape.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
So I don't think I can take any like
And then
breaks.
yeah, and then even like to your point, and you're like 100%. Like I just feel like I just have like an unhealthy relationship with always like comparing myself, and sometimes like I have lab, I have you guys, but even then sometimes it's just like you feel like you're not doing enough, and sometimes it gets kind of toxic, and I think that's kind of where that control mentality from my side comes from, is because like you always want to like put your best, and like you're so like control, whereas like I just need to like let go and like let people do their thing.
100%. I mean, along that point, what advice do you guys, I guess, Amanda first, what advice do you have for like young creatives just starting out, for them to, anything you've learned along the way, anything you would give out to people starting out, things like that?
I don't
Things to
know
look
if
out
I
for.
can give advice, because I feel like my advice would be kind of unhealthy, because it's just what I went through.
Okay.
like the grind mindset of like just grind and just put your work out there. Obviously, like, take your time, but just keep posting, keep putting yourself out there as much as you can to find out what you like and what you don't like. But also see that advice could also be toxic because it's the grind mindset of like, oh, I have to put in like 110%. And just, yeah.
Amanda P. Blinder.
I need to edit that.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that's a great advice because it might lead to like burnouts and stuff for a lot of people.
No. But I mean, it is, you do need to put in the work.
Yeah.
Right? So
is burnout necessary? Maybe it's necessary for like short-term goals.
obviously you don't want to burn out because it sucks.
Yeah, you don't.
And it's annoying. But
then
it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah, if you grind.
Yeah.
Like 110% grind.
That's what I realized though, is that I burnt out really bad around COVID-ish. In the middle of it, I was just so lost because you're just stuck in your own room for so long. And I realized during that burnout where I'm like, I need to change the way I work, change the way I think about things, the mentality behind the craft and my work, or I'm not gonna make it like my entire life doing this.
What changed?
Like long term. One, the biggest thing I realized was having a team around you. Like you can't. We talked about this last time, but you going alone, you go faster, but going together, you go further. And that completely changed my mentality. Where like, one, I rely on people more. Some things I just don't know, so I'll ask a lot of questions or ask people for help and things like that. The other thing is just like, yeah, you could kind of just share the burden. Like you're surrounded by people that also understand like where you're coming from, your mentality. You understand that you're under a lot of stress all the time because of the feeling of I need to keep going or I'm gonna fall behind. It is really comforting. And I noticed this when I talk to like other artists and things like that. I'm like, wow, these guys think the exact same way as me. You know, these people completely understand like the mentality and like the life, the day to day, things like that. So it was really comforting knowing someone out there also like feels the same way as me. Yeah. And I always love having those conversations because of it.
Yeah, I've been like meeting up with a lot of creatives recently that I know through TikTok, and everyone goes through the same thing.
Yeah.
So like you realize you're not alone in this at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort in being like,
yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, everyone's the same. And then I realized in the broader spectrum, everyone around our age is also lost.
Yep.
Like no one knows what they're doing. Even if you seem like you're successful, like I think people sometimes would be like, oh, you're already like,
you made it.
You made it. Yeah. You're like, I did. What have I made? Maybe like little goals, yeah. But in the broader spectrum, like everyone doesn't know what they're doing.
I want to add on, yeah, I'll add on to that too. I guess kind of going into like my advice thing is just to understand that, like you said, like behind the curtain of everyone, like we all have our own struggles, and even people who look like they're doing really well, whatever they have, you'd be struggling, like yeah, like surprise. But I guess to kind of be a similar point is just, if I had to give like advice, especially to maybe someone younger, is you're going to go through moments of life where, you know, like ego is very normal. You need ego to be confident. You need ego to really push yourself to like be the best that you can and have confidence. But just remember that, you know, like eventually there's going to be time where you're going to need to work with other people, and you really need to like humble yourself and just understand that, you know, you have a team now to work together. You guys have, you know, so maybe you are like better experienced than most people, but it's also your responsibility to kind of like teach them, like bring everyone up. And even to this day, it's something that like I'm working towards. I think it gets harder as, you know, whatever you get bigger projects or like bigger opportunities. It's like you always want to, you know, take care of like your teammates.
Yeah, it sounded like you were trying to give advice to younger Ryan.
You know what, actually was.
I mean, the way it is.
Because like it's hard. Like I was thinking about that question too. It's like hard, but the easiest way to think about it is just like there's so many people. Like there's like a mini Henry. There's a mini Henry.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, no, trust me. They're probably just like, yeah, I want to get. What are you saying? Oh yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. I think we're living in an age where just like, it's much easier to go those routes, and like we need to be, and we need to be like champions to like show that it's not an easy path, but we've experienced it, and like these are like advice and like things that we would do.
Yeah, I think that's why this podcast is like really good at the end of the day.
I mean, not only for my own therapy. I'm not using it as my own therapy, but it's like good to get my
therapy though.
it's good to get my thoughts out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice. Another thing is, I say this at the end of the last couple podcasts, but this podcast is, I hope someone is, not only are we learning on the couch as well and talking and things like that, I just hope that anyone listening out there that like you also take something away from it. I think it's really important to show people that, we're also just young creatives in the industry, and things are not always glitz and glamour. Things not always go as smooth as it shows on social media. Like sometimes it's nice to get a little peek behind the curtain on how things actually go, and at the same time hearing people who are like going through it in a moment and hearing their trials and tribulations. So that ends it for this podcast. I think we're out of time. So thank you guys for coming on. It was a great conversation.
Of course,
thank you, Amanda. I hope your move goes well. I don't know if we'll have another.
So.
Yeah, obviously. I'm gonna move tomorrow, so
Oh yeah.
it's good karma to tell you for your good move. So I have a good move.
True. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Have a good move yourself too, and you.
Soon.
We're all moving.
Yeah, we're all moving. But hopefully you don't forget about us. I am London. You already removed the lap tag. Next thing you're going on, you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
she's gonna burn the
Should
shirt.
you come back with an accent?
Yeah, she come out accent.
Stop.
That's all you got? Yeah. Okay. Hopefully it's better next time. Okay. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.